And just like that, we back with part two. Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters. Let's do our thing before YouTube do their own thing. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome, beloved, welcome. We are now back with part two, and we're going to proceed and finish the whole tab. Oh boy. Man, it's already 5 o'clock. Oh boy. Again, this is pre-recorded, beloved. It's pre-recorded, so it's not 5 o'clock for you. At least somewhere it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's keep on moving, brethren, and see the Holy One and the prophecies being unfolded right in front of us.
He was known for exposing those who troll teens online, using social media to pose as an underage girl luring in predators.
I've caught 35. He'll be number 35 that I caught.
This is from an interview we did with Lee last year, after he outed a sheriff's deputy for allegedly trying to solicit sex from a minor.
And that's what it is. That's why they got the brother, okay? Listen to this, all right?
Robert Lee was known for exposing those who troll teens online, using social media to pose as an underage girl luring in predators.
I've caught 35. He'll be number 35 that I caught.
This is from an interview we did with Lee last year, after he outed a sheriff's deputy for allegedly trying to solicit sex from a minor. That deputy was fired as a result. He kept going from there until last night when a confrontation cost him his life. Police say he confronted two men inside a Coney Island in Pontiac. Lee accused one of them of being a pedophile and punched him. In return, one of the men pulled out a knife, the other a gun, and shot Lee to death. At a vigil outside the restaurant, friends and family mourned his death.
We're going to honor his memory. We're here to show support and show that, you know, everything he did was not for nothing. We're here to show that he really made an impact on the community.
From the get, police have called Lee's work well-intentioned but dangerous.
We know he has good intentions from this.
All right, Michael Bouchard. Now, what happened here? This brother, his name is Bupak Shakur. That's his alter ego name. What he used to do, he would go online and pretend to be a 12-year-old little girl or 10-year-old little girl, and he will have swarm of men coming after him and thinking that he was a 12-year-old girl. And all those guys, brethren, they watch the whole Chris Henson thing. They know for a fact that there is a strong possibility that I'm going to encounter a dude or I'm going to get arrested. But they don't care, because they are pedophile. They are, well, most of those guys are not pedophile. They are predators. Okay, they don't care. They're going after a prey. Whether they kill them or they kill the prey, they're gonna go after it. So once they go there and they find out this dude, and the dude exposed them online, and then they stream it live, and those people know their face. The whole Chris Henson thing. The same thing happened with Chris Henson with the To Catch a Predator. And again, those guys are predators, okay? A true pedophile is much more careful. A pedophile won't go online and look for kids like this. No. They are plenty in the church. They are plenty at the schools. They are your pastors, your trustees. Okay, those guys are predators. They're just going after prey. That's what the thing called To Catch a Predator. And I believe the reason why To Catch a Predator got, well, not cancel, but they avoid it. They don't do this again. They really come after Chris Henson, man. They really come after the guy. The reason was, I believe, one of those high-ranking officials, and he thought like he was talking to a 12-year-old boy, and then they show up to when he show up, they caught him, and then he had a gun with him. He shot and killed himself. And their family, actually, I believe they sue Dateline or whatever and things like that. Because they got the money, they got lawyers that can come up and say, well, that was entrapment. They have money. If you caught one of those super rich elite guy, let's say, Lord forbid, you caught one of those super popular elite and one of those sex ring thing, they will get off easy and you will pay the price. And Chris Hansen paid the price, just like Orson Welles paid the price when he ridiculed the rich. He ridiculed those people in power. Anytime you ridicule those guys, you'll pay. Okay, this dude over there and he went and confronted those pedophile guys, and they say he punched the guy in the face. That's what they say. But remember, he got one of those deputies fired. So they will give you any report to show that he was the aggressor. All right. Anytime you put the so-called the elite on check, you humiliating them, they're going to make sure that you pay for that. That's what's going on in Haiti. Haiti humiliated those guys during 1796. Okay? 1804, they got humiliated. They lost a huge, literally, they know what happened in 1804 still going on now. That's what they are doing. They still after Haiti. That's why they got the dogs, the Dominican Republic, and they launch it and fetch it and sick it on Haiti. They know exactly what they are doing. But the battles, they are losing. Whether they want it or not, they are losing. Okay, so that's what happened here. Thank you, Michael Bouchard.
And we've actually suggested to this individual multiple times, this is really dangerous. And here's some of the problems and pitfalls with doing this.
Yeah, he has more nuts than you guys do. You know, he did a job that you folks, well, not can do, don't want to do. Because our own people, you got guys like this. Regin, listen. Hi. Let me see if I can find... Let me see if I can find the article. If I can, I will. If not, I will just go back. Let me see. Let's see if I can find the article. Oh, boy. Let's stop right here. Oh, boy. I can't find it. I can't find it, but let me try to take a last look. Okay, I can't find the article. Can find the article, but it is mentioned that I don't wanna say it because YouTube will cut me. CIA agent using government computer at work to watch but it's chat. Okay, all right, so yeah, I believe 2015 or 2016. NSA and CIA analysts watch a lot more than you could ever. And it's not regular, okay? It's actually little one things. That's what those guys been doing, okay? And they watch that a lot because they got free access to it and there's nothing no one can say about it. And those guys, they're the true predators and pedophiles over there. And there was a report that came in, the article, I think it's somewhere, they haven't removed it. Okay, more cases of federal workers watching, okay, on the job. So, and they are not watching regular stuff. In fact, there is none regular. It's been a while. There is no more regular stuff. There's a report that came out. They say they don't make regular stuff anymore. Everything is backward. It's just so much salad tossing. Everything is other play, but one woman, 50 dudes, and you can even see the woman, And they had a lot of stuff those guys are doing because they have free access to it, and that's what they do. Okay, let me see.
Doesn't it seem like there aren't enough hours in the workday? Traffic, parking, meetings, calls. Especially for the D.C. area's tens of thousands of hardworking federal employees.
We expect those folks to be going to work, putting in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay.
But Jason Metrick, investigator for the National Archives Inspector General, says some workers found time for other things.
They actually had photographs of their own genitalia on their computer.
The News 4i team found federal inspectors investigated at least 6 archives workers for viewing porn on the taxpayer's dime in the past 2 years. One for watching videos of women having sex. Moaning noises were overheard from his cubicle. Another surfed porn and then solicited a prostitute.
That's what those guys
on archives government business.
They are creating an atmosphere of morale issues for other employees that see them not working.
Jason.
Isolated cases? Not as isolated as you may think.
It's not isolated at all.
Freedom of Information Act, the News 4i team asked about a dozen federal agencies for all of their cases of potentially criminal pornography viewing by federal workers.
Yes.
Viewing that might have wasted taxpayer money through time and attendance fraud or involved the viewing of child sex images.
Exactly.
And at just those agencies, in just the past 3 years, we found about 50 cases.
Including the Federal Trade Commission employee in D.C. whom investigators say conducted 26,000 Google search requests for the terms sex, nude, or Asian.
Yeah, so...
The Amtrak worker found to have viewed porn for 21 hours in nearly 1 month's time. And a senior official who blamed his son when porn was found on his work laptop.
Mr. Kaplan? Yes.
Former federal contractor Sam Kaplan agreed to speak with the I-Team last year after his release from prison. He admitted viewing porn at his computer in Chantilly. He asked we not show his face, worried he'd be targeted for physical retaliation because it included child porn.
And there you go.
Even on a government computer,
there you go.
I can get away with this?
Yes.
I don't know. I was in a bad
yes, you can, because those guys, listen.
Risking a lot, Kaplan was working as a contractor for the FBI.
Okay, let's go on.
Rational. That's what it is. It's irrational.
He's not the only one. A postal worker from Frederick County pleaded guilty to doing so while at the post office. And a technician who did so aboard the Commerce Department's Ron Brown research ship. Congress requires federal agencies build firewalls to prevent this type of misconduct.
Do you think you're catching all of it?
No, and we're not fooling ourselves by thinking that.
In part because monitoring computer use among thousands of federal workers is difficult.
Because it's expensive, it's time consuming, it takes bodies.
It takes money.
It takes money.
Brian Dykstra runs a computer forensics company and says just like employees in private business, feds find porn backdoors.
When, an employer takes steps to kind of restrict that access, that's when people start looking for workarounds to defeat that.
The cases uncovered by the I-Team reveal how. Some used Backpage or Tumblr to get to inappropriate images. Another downloaded it from a private email. Others found it on social media.
There is pornography hidden in those websites where they can go to it.
We found many tried to cover their tracks, erasing browser histories or using file shred software. Even the FBI worker thought he'd get away with it.
Nobody looked over my shoulder.
But someone was watching. He got caught.
This makes a pretty uncomfortable workplace.
Absolutely.
Which means the people who police for this type of abuse on the clock are working
overtime. Yes.
Scott McFarland, News 4i.
Okay, so that's gives you an idea.
More to story on our NBC Washington app. The I-Team detailed the 50 cases.
That gives you an idea what those guys are doing. And again, the report coming, that's all those guys do at work. That's all they do, just viewing this thing. And it doesn't involve regular adult people. And they find 99% of those guys, that's what they are doing. And they don't do at the certain places, they don't do anything. Unless if it has to do with us, unless they need to dump the drugs in our neighborhood. Oh, those guys will work overtime. And that's what those guys are doing. They don't really do anything because their job, and I don't blame them. It's not they weren't built for that. They weren't built to catch those guys. They were built to catch us and brutalize us. And when they can't, and they're just doing regular stuff.
And tragically, it played out that way.
2 men have been arrested in connection to the killing. Police say the suspected shooter is 17 years old and the other man is 18. Reporting in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Okay, so yeah, that's what it is, man. And the fellow, he's no more because it did. Beloved, you don't know how bad things are out there. It's when you are out there, you see how bad it is. And the people around don't see anything wrong with it. When you're around, you say, holy moly, is that what you people are doing? You guys are priests. You are pastors. You are reverends. Anyway.
Markers on 4th Drive in the Sunshine Mobile Home community. Yellow crime scene tape and multiple evidence markers on 4th Drive in the Sunshine Mobile Home community Saturday morning. Around 9 a.m., Pinellas County deputies were called to the 55 and older community for a neighbor dispute. The caller reporting Samantha Belk attempted to kick in their door, yelling for their wife. When deputies arrived, they found Belk inside her home across the street, shouting profanities at them, saying, quote, "I'm going to get my gun." Neighbors overheard deputies calling out to her to come outside. Moments later, she did, brandishing a gun. That's when deputies hid behind squad cars. As she raised her weapon, one deputy fired multiple rounds, striking Belk, who later died at the hospital. Today, neighbors were surprised, telling me Belk mostly kept to herself. When they did see her, she seemed calm.
I don't know her personally. I'm from driving by and her waving at me and being outside, messing with her plants.
The deputy who fired the shots is now on administrative leave as St. Pete police take over the investigation. In Pinellas County, Jennifer Vaglis, Fox 13 News.
Yeah, so a lot of those folks are catching hell, man. Catching hell. 5 hours ago, shouldn't be no update there. Yeah, because it happened 7 hours ago. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this to show you who's are trafficking womb out there, who's selling womb, okay?
It's the largest undercover human trafficking sting in Polk County history. More than 200 people are facing charges tonight, among them a local school athletic director and coach and a few Disney employees.
Again, a few Disney employees because they got access to children. And they know which kids they need to get, okay? And then let's watch what that thing is doing now.
Carla Byron joins us live from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. So, Carla, this operation had some pretty significant results.
Yeah, Sheriff Grady Judd said some of the suspects brought weapons or drugs with them to the undercover location. Some even brought their children with them, which is unusual to say the least. He adds a lot of the suspects and victims were here in the country illegally.
She's one of the human traffickers.
Out of the 219 arrests in the undercover multi-agency operation,
she's the one that was setting the appointments. She's the one that were prostituting two young ladies.
Two suspects, one from Chicago and another from Orlando, were arrested for human trafficking, a life felony.
So that's what those people, and to them, this is nothing, this is not wrong to them, okay? This is no big deal. They've been doing things like that. They are doing things like that. But which children they are doing this? Because they know human trafficking been going on for a while, but they never really make a huge deal out of it. You know, until they look at the statistics, they see the people that are doing this and they raise hell about it. Because they are not the typical people you don't care about. Those are the people that you do care.
And two others are still under investigation.
He loaned her $2,200 to repair a vehicle, and she didn't have the money to pay it back. So he said, "You're going to have to do prostitution."
Investigators say the two are also undocumented. In fact, they say 35 of the suspects arrested were in the United States illegally, and 3 were victims of human trafficking. The sheriff says they're seeing more undocumented people in every operation they do.
Okay, let me see. Oops. So they just show you where those folks came from, and then they just okay. Well, anyway, for some reason they cut off Haiti right there. You don't see it. They only have the Dominican Republic, and they just cut off Haiti. They don't show it. There's a reason why. So they from Latin Americas and Chile, I believe Colombia. If this is somewhere, I'm not quite sure which countries are here, Colombia and stuff like that, and Mexico, Cuba, the Bahamas, and this, I believe Trinidad, Curacao, and all the other little island, and they come over here to that point, but somehow they just got the Dominican Republic, but they don't have Haiti over there. They just cut it. This is Jamaica, this is Cuba, but you don't see Haiti in there, and there's a reason why. So when you look at the route, a lot of those people, they are prostituting young women or women because they are illegal. So what the hell you want them to do? They don't have $2,200. They can't work. They don't have papers. So yeah, they're going to do these things. And you got those men out there, they are looking for available. There's a market. There is a high demand. So therefore, the supply will come. That's what's going on there.
People in every operation they do.
Okay, there's domestic, there's illegal. Okay, you can see the domestic and then things like that.
They were paying off the coyote for their transportation. This is real. For those of you who think that the border issues only pertains to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, you couldn't be more wrong.
83 were arrested for soliciting prostitution.
So, soliciting prostitution, those are men that, and they can just walking down the street and this woman walk up to them and say, hey, you want to have some fun? And the man like, I don't know. What do you mean by fun? Well, you give me $20 and then we can go behind this dumpster and then you get some of that dumpster cookie. And then those men agreed. And then when they go behind the dumpster, they get arrested. Okay, that's what they do. They arrested them. And a lot of those guys, they thought they was going to get real stuff, and they get into, things that, well, they like, whoa, I didn't know you guys were cops. Well, yes, that's what it is. We're trying to eliminate the problem by trying to remove the symptoms,
including 3 Disney employees and a man named Russ Rogers, who was the athletic director at the Vanguard School in Lake Wales, as well as a teacher at Real Academy in Auburndale. The district says they're in the process of terminating him.
This dude now is coaching in the county jail. I can't believe that we'd want somebody like this around our children.
119 others were arrested for prostitution.
Okay, those are the women that they found. Again, beloved, look. There's a reason why they put this thing so small, so you won't see the faces, okay? Those are the women. You see a few 2/3 in there, always, man. The 2/3, that's what they do. The 2/3 don't give a crap. Those are their young women. They can't work. That's the only work they can do. Lie down on their back and get paid and get drugs. They can't go to work and produce and actually give into this economy or support and be a part of the economy. No, well, they are in a certain way, but not the way the Gentiles like. Remember back in the 70s, those people used to call our men pimps and hoes because they were doing this, and then they're like, oh, our children will never do things like this. Okay, so you see, back then the game was safer and better than now. Now you are dealing with a bunch of back then in the 70s and the 60s. You had a certain asylum, certain psych ward. A bunch of those people were there. Right now, everybody's out. Everybody's outside, man. When you caught them, hey, I forgot to take my meds. Ever since Reagan closed out all the psych ward and then say, hey, we don't need those things anymore. We need more medication. And the problem got worse. A lot of those people, they have mental issue. A lot of them, they have drugs issue. A lot of them, beloved, they just need this stuff. Some people, they are born like this. They can't get enough of it 24 hours. It's not their fault. They need to get this thing. and they arrested those young women and those young men because they were there to get something going on. And they say, oh, well, those people, trafficking child and children like that and stuff. Why suddenly you people are interested in this? Back then, when that thing was upon us, you guys were not that interested. But suddenly now, there's an interest.
And 21 possible human trafficking victims were identified, who are now getting the services and resources they need to possibly turn their life around.
It resulted in dozens more recognizing that there is another life out there for them, and it afforded those individuals opportunities to change their life.
There you go.
To throw some more numbers into the mix, 18 were arrested from other states, and in total, detectives charged 44 felonies and 242 misdemeanors. Linda.
Okay, so the reason why you see those people are all up in there because the plague is upon them. That's their daughters. Okay, that's their people that are doing this, and they like we said again, they do not have able body that can work. Most of those young folks, they can't work. They're on drugs, and who bought the drugs? You guys did, man. You made the laws, you did everything, and then now the plague is back on you. So you don't know what to do now. Is that thing even recording now? Let's see. There we go. All right, how long we are into this? Okay, good. Let's keep on moving. Wait. Hang on. Is this? Oh, okay. All right. Let's keep on moving. Seems this thing is recording low, but all right then. Okay, this is Ohio, all right?
If you're sitting on information of my family or
and the confusion keep going. The verdict is still out. The verdict is still out because I haven't watched this, but let me see what's going on here.
anyone family here today at an event, you're just as guilty.
Please, for any bit of information, more than 97,000 people are still actively missing in the state of Ohio. Today, 10 TV talked with families and friends of some of these people to share their stories.
He's still loved and he's still missed, and we're still fighting to try to find out what happened to him.
Judy Rafferty has been looking for her son for nearly 17 years. Andy Chapman went missing in late 2006 from the Hilltop neighborhood in Columbus. Her search for him hasn't ended, just like the other families at Saturday's Missing Persons Day event in Columbus. Photos of missing friends and family staked into the ground in front of the Columbus Police Academy, a symbolic reminder that someone is still looking.
You know, you have like your dad there forever and then he's just gone.
Danny Fout went missing in 2019, and his family is still looking for answers. Everyone there was still looking for answers. Columbus Police, the Bureau of Criminal Investigations, and several support services were there, offering what resources they could to people just wanting to bring someone home. But it's also a time to come together.
It broke me down because it's a family that hugged another mother and said this is a club that we don't want to be in, but unfortunately we're in. And that is very sad. That is very sad to say.
Families Saturday say
this is very weird to me. I don't know. I can't put a point into this, but anyway, a lot of people are going missing.
The unanswered question of what happened takes an emotional toll, and the support of others helps ease that pain and drives them forward in the search for answers.
I just pray that all these people that are here today will get closure, that their loved one that's missing will find closure, and they'll be able to move on.
There we go. So this is people that are missing. They just don't know what happened to them. They just wake up one day, they just walk somewhere, and they never been seen again. They don't know what happened to them. And those are young people. Those are young kids. Did they run away? Did something happen? They're just missing and they don't know what happened. Oops. There you go.
And let's look at the numbers over the years. The Ohio Attorney General's office says in 2021, a total of 19,000 missing person cases were filed, and just last year, that number rose to more than 20,500.
And it's going to get more and more and more. They just don't see them. They just don't know what happened. Where are those people?
That's more than 1,600 case increases in Ohio. And coming up tomorrow on Face the State, we ask Ohio's Attorney General, Dave Yost, about what his office is doing to help provide answers and closure for families. That's all tomorrow morning, starting at 11:30 during Face.
So yeah, a lot of people, they don't know what happened to them. They just went missing, and they still now they're like, what happened to this brother? What happened to this sister? They don't know. They don't know. And the police can't do anything. They can't say anything. They don't know what happened. And frankly, this is not their job. They are not here to search and seek missing persons. They are here to brutalize and destroy our community.
Well, Jimmy Carter has 99 reasons to celebrate. The former Georgia peanut farmer who became...
I see what you did here. You know, he has 99 problem, but being 101, okay. Better send that check to Jay-Z.
President will spend his birthday with his family. Millions of people have been sending Carter personal messages. Here's CBS's Mark Strassman.
They're celebrating a birthday in tiny Plains, Georgia, Jimmy Carter's birthplace 99 years ago today.
I think we're just going to get down there and hang out as a family, you know, just be a really small private event.
Again, Jason, another Jason. Jason's being in the midst. Of course, anytime we see Jason's, which is the name Jason mean the healer, which is Raphael, and Raphael was the archangel that came in and gave us the good news. There'll be no Jacob's trouble, aka the Don child, and those are message of peace. But concerning Jimmy Carter, they want to show you that, hey, he's still there, he's still alive. Not only he lived to be 99, he's gonna live to be another 99. So yeah, he's good there, don't worry about it and stuff. So okay, well, hey man, yeah, just you do your thing.
He can't party like he used to for his 99th birthday, so
none of us can.
Right, none of us can. That's exactly right.
I love you, Jimmy Carter. Happy birthday.
Americans celebrate with him. The famous
and happy birthday, President Carter.
And the everyday.
99.
A Jimmy Carter peanut gallery of well-wishers. The White House wooden cake. 39 candles for the 39th president.
It's some salute, considering most Americans alive today were born after Jimmy Carter left the White House in 1981 and moved back here to Plains.
Grab a cupcake.
Yeah. He's like the father of the town. He's the heart of the town. And we just celebrate him every day.
But this Sunday in particular.
This Sunday in particular.
Yeah. When Carter entered hospice back in February, his family thought he had days left. Instead, he lived to see his 77th wedding anniversary with Rosalind Carter, and 7 months later has earned all this birthday fuss.
You don't get more from a life than they got, and they know that, they understand that, and he's really at peace with where he is.
The Carters will celebrate the day as true Southerners, with family, fried chicken, and caramel cake, his favorite.
He
Mark
is
Strassman, CBS
really
News,
at peace.
Plains, Georgia.
Where he's at right now. Notice that they don't show you Jimmy Carter. They don't show you any footage of him just either in his chair with kind of like oxygen or anything. They just said he's at peace wherever he is. He is good to go, or he's he's at peace wherever he is right now. So yeah. We got the Queen. This is our own word. The Queen, Pope Benedict, and Jimmy Carter. So the Queen is the Queen of England, of course. The eagle, the head of the eagle of England. She is no more. And you got the Pope for Benedict. Not Francis. Francis is just the guys that was keeping the bench warm. Okay, Benedict, he was the true dude. He is no more. And then you got Jimmy Carter, which been no more for a while now, but they keep the illusion like, hey, he reached 99 too. You know, next year is gonna reach 100. He's still there. He got another few in him, but we know the three. That's the last headed of the eagle. That's it. After that, everybody that you see there, they're just guys that are there to keep the bench warm, like Putin, Biden, and those guys they don't know anything. You know, the OGs like Jimmy Carter and the Queen and Pope Benedict, those were the OGs. those dudes were guys that, they just left there, keep the bench warm, and hey, man, this thing is done, man. Great glory to the mighty one. We don't care. This is their trouble. This is their judgment. He is no more. He been no more. Okay.
Continuing to follow our breaking news now, police responding to 2 possible robberies in the south suburbs this midday.
Julian Cruz live in Country Club Hills with more on this. Julian.
Well, Pat and Dina, Country Club Hills police, along with assistance from other South suburban agencies and the FBI, have converged on the scene of this parking lot on the 4000 block of 167th Street in Country Club Hills. We have unconfirmed reports that a shootout took place. It's not clear if it happened or began, I should say, inside the store or if the shooting began outside in the parking lot. This was at 11:30 this morning. One individual who we talked to asked us not to reveal his identity, says investigators are looking at the possibility that the armed robbers targeted armed security with Loomis Armed Robbery Services, and there appears to have been some sort of collision between the truck and a vehicle. Both of those vehicles still here on the parking lot. According to the information we're getting, they were trying to rob them, the shootout ensuing, all to the shock and dismay of local residents.
It's heart-wrenching. It really is. I don't know what this world is coming to at this point, but...
Again, hey, listen, this is a regular person they are interviewing. They are seeing this, Bridget. No one out there can just sit and say, everything is fine. In fact, everything is not only back to normal, it's better. I never seen the world is in such a peace and beauty. Foods are cheap. The gas is cheap. My job is paying me so much money. I got this vacation over here. I got this property over there. I got this business right here. I'm doing so well, and I can go anywhere and do whatever. They can see that. They can feel it. They know it. They witness that. Every single people out there, they can feel it. They're like, what the hell is this world coming to? Remember, this world was always like that, but it was on us. It was normal. Black on black crime was normal. Hey, let those animals, what about Chicago? Let those animals over there killing each other. The drugs in the 70s, after the Vietnam War, the heroin, let them. The crack, let them. 90s, let them. It is just when they get in that late 90s, early 2000. Well, late 97, 95, late 90s, they start. Ooh, yeah. Things are not doing too well for us. And then they decided to go to Iraq to help themselves get some of that fuel. It could last them a potential another 10 years. Talking about whether there's a depletion of the fossil fuel, and there are plenty more fossil fuel around. It's just like the blessing is not yours for you to get. And they can see this is just a regular woman that like, yo, Ish is not, not the same way that it used to, Come on. There you go. There we go.
May of local residents.
It's heart-wrenching. It really is. I don't know what this world is coming to at this point, but this is crazy.
Now, Skycam 9 showing the busy crime scene. Our source telling us that the armed robbers appear to have gotten away. The unconfirmed report that we receive is that these would-be robbers carjacked a vehicle from an elderly gentleman here in the parking lot and escaped from the scene. No word yet from Country Club Hills police on any injuries in this harrowing incident. To make matters worse, another armed robbery happening earlier in Matson. And that scene in Matson, we should tell you, it is a U.S. bank on Lincoln Highway.
Wow.
Very few details available on that incident. We reached out to Matson police.
Two
They
robbery.
referred us to the FBI. But that U.S. bank incident, we are told, happening about 10:30 in the morning. The big question right now, Pat and Dean, is are these two incidents
related?
The work. The same individuals. We are working to get details. Of course, we will bring it to you as soon as it becomes available. Here in the Walmart parking lot at Country Club Hills, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
All right, Julian, sounds good.
Yeah, so this thing is all over, and they know that. Okay. There we go. Oh boy. There we go. This is the. There you go.
The U.S. Marshals have a new addition to their 15 most wanted fugitives list, and she's from right here in Metro Detroit.
Yeah, 44-year-old Tamara Williams is wanted for the murder of her boyfriend back in 2018. She's accused of killing him and then scattering his body parts along I-75 in Ohio. We bring in Sean Lay. Sean, 2018, so she's been on the run for years now.
4 years and now making this list. U.S. Marshals Service 15 most wanted fugitives anywhere. We're talking about escaped prisoners, child killers, child pornography, multiple killers, and today, at the very end, here, a new addition, Tamara Williams from Detroit, accused in that horrible dismemberment, murder of her boyfriend, and Tamara's mom, very well known in these parts, may be the key to finding her.
She's evil, and we're throwing every bit of resources that we have to find her.
And today, added to the top 15 most wanted fugitives in the nation by the U.S. Marshals, 44-year-old Tamara Williams of Detroit. Williams is wanted for the 2018 murder and dismemberment of her boyfriend, David Carter. But where is Williams? Street by street, block by block, state by state, Williams has vanished. U.S. Marshal Robert Watson describing Williams to me on the phone.
She is a monster, and she is one of those people that she's a danger to the community every minute that she is out there.
And the Marshals believe Williams' mother, Verdine Day, has a hand in helping her. Day, once named the Detroit Firefighter of the Year, was busted for stealing tens of thousands of dollars in her role as treasurer of the Detroit Firefighters Association.
And we believe wholeheartedly that she has provided her money, she has provided her resources, and may have even gone as far as financed her way to continue her life as a fugitive.
Detroit Firefighter of the Year. She was honored with that one time.
She manipulated them, into honoring her with this great accolade, and lo and behold, she's stealing from them. We will go anywhere, basically in the world, that we have an extradition agreement with.
They will go.
She murdered the guy and cut off his body into pieces and threw him in the highway, I-75. Is that what that is? Great glory. You know what to do. Let's keep on moving. Crazy thing going around, man.
These people had GPS mishaps. In 2022, this car drove on a frozen canal in Indianapolis. Then the ice gave out underneath and it plunged into the frigid water. The driver claimed her GPS directed her to drive onto the canal. She drove until she came to a dead end and tried to turn around, but the car fell into the water. Witnesses had to rush and help her out. No injuries were reported. This is Phil Paxson celebrating his daughter's 9th birthday party in 2022.
I wanna celebrate and live my life.
But the day ended in tragedy after he drove off a bridge that washed away 9 years before.
It's very hard to, yes, 100% to preventable in my opinion.
The party was at a friend's house and his wife Alicia was the first to leave with their 2 daughters. Phil stayed behind to help clean up.
We did have a very good day. I remember saying goodbye, love you, see you in a bit.
Ann Mercogliano explains.
It was a stormy night, and Phil Paxson only had a short drive to the house he had recently moved into in suburban Charlotte. He was still unfamiliar with the roads, so his family says he did what many of us do. He followed his GPS.
His family believes his GPS directed him down this road. He expected to cross a small bridge, but the bridge hasn't existed since 2013 when it was washed away. Locally, it was known as the Bridge to Nowhere. Paxson drove right off the road, plunging 20 feet into the ravine.
Unfathomable. I mean, I just can't wrap my head around how this could happen.
We've heard from neighbors that they have heard of
babysitters or delivery drivers who have almost suffered the same fate as Phil.
He didn't deserve to die this way.
In June of 2023, a woman motorist drove down a boat ramp after she said her GPS system directed her straight into the water.
You gotta leave the car right now. Hurry, it's going under. Hurry up and get out.
Witnesses threw a flotation device to help her swim to the boat.
Watch what you're stepping, okay? Within seconds, the car actually sinks and goes under. We tried to coax her out of the vehicle, and she's like, well, it's floating. I'm like, not for very long.
5 weeks before, the same thing happened at the same dock.
It's crazy because it's literally the exact same ramp in the exact same spot.
Yeah, so we will blame this on GPS. We will blame this on GPS, and we're like, oh well, no, the GPS, the guy, drove off the bridge. It keep happening at the same place. GPS, but we're not gonna put anything that says, hey, no, we're not gonna block the road. We're just gonna leave it like that. Okay then.
2 sisters were rescued from their sinking SUV. In both incidents, drivers said they were following GPS directions.
She said she was headed to an excursion, and her GPS had told her that's where she needed to turn and where she needed to go. Hurry, it's going under!
In 2016, one woman's wrong turn saved a dolphin's life. Lorraine and Mike spotted the mammal stuck on the beach near the shallow waters of Scotland. The 2 photographers were traveling home from a shoot when their GPS accidentally led them to the stranded dolphin. They called rescuers who rushed to the animal's side with seaweed and towels to keep her skin moist. Mike held on to the fin to comfort the dolphin. And after a little TLC, she was ready to go back into the wild.
Really scared. Please help me.
Did this college student's GPS lead her to near disaster in 2017? 24-year-old Amber Van Heck was driving to the Grand Canyon, and her GPS told her to turn down a road that didn't exist. She ran out of gas and was stranded in the desert for 5 days before being rescued.
Turn right at the traffic light.
According to AAA spokesperson Robert Sinclair, sometimes GPS can lead you astray.
These devices have taken people to non-existent roads. They've taken them to cliffs. I was using one time and looking for a hotel. It took me to a cemetery. Before you get out on the road and you're using a GPS, it's good to track.
I wonder why this thing sent you to a cemetery. Talk about certain things, and people think we're all playing, but yes, those things are not just randomly happen. There's a reason why.
A Houston woman who, according to court documents, is a key witness in a capital murder case has been missing for more than a week. Now, both family members and officials are searching for answers. 21-year-old DeAndrea Ford, a dancer at Diva's Bikini Sports Bar and Grill, was last seen getting into a van outside of the bar on the East Freeway. She was a witness in a May shooting that left one man dead. Police say 4 people were arrested in that case, including a former Harris County detention officer.
Okay, so that's what happened.
Now,
and that young lady, that young lady, she's 21. She was working as a stripper in a club, and she get into a van. They never seen her, and come to find out now, she was a witness in a murder case. So that's why the 2/3, you can't trust them at all. You can't literally say, oh, well, she's innocent of something. No, 2/3 are involved with a lot of nonsense. Okay, and then things come back and bite her. Now she's missing, Great glory. Let's keep on moving.
We are also following the storm that battered New York City, bringing record rainfall at JFK International Airport yesterday, the most ever seen for any September date. The storm's so severe, you can actually see sea lions at the Central Park Zoo escaping from their flooded enclosure. And as the rain hit the Big Apple, migrants kicked out of the shelters and onto the streets. As Mayor Adams says, the city is running out of space.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. Remember, if excuse me, the city that you see they are sending them in, those are the city that our people by number are taking over, and by number, they themselves are being drastically reduced, okay?
With more buses arriving every single day, the city evicting migrants from the shelters even during yesterday's storm. News Nation correspondent Dre Clark is in New York for us tonight. Dre, what is happening to those migrants?
Well, Natasha, good evening to you. Behind me here is
Again, send somebody that look like us, you know, just, the migrant over there, migrant over here.
the Roosevelt Hotel here in Midtown Manhattan, and many people consider this to be the epicenter for all of the newly arriving migrants and asylum seekers here in New York City. But this is also where those migrants who were reportedly forced out of their shelters yesterday and into that record downpour were told to go as a shelter of last resort.
Like walking through a river in your own home.
In New York City, it looked like a river running wild. A torrential downpour producing as much as 8 inches of rain in some places and causing flooding that nearly brought the city to a standstill. The heavy rain pounding tents set up for thousands of migrants on Randall's Island. The migrants using plastic to cover what little belongings they have as the water drenched the tents. In other parts of the city, after New York City officials declared a state of emergency and urged people to stay safe indoors, migrants were reportedly being forced out of shelter locations and onto the street in the record-pouring rain. The Roosevelt Hotel, their shelter of last resort. The move comes after adult migrants without children were told in July they had 60 days to find new housing on their own or return to the Roosevelt and apply for placement in a different city shelter. The eviction started last Friday with several hundred men being the first to go. But the city says no migrant was told Friday they had to go out into the dangerous and life-threatening weather conditions. The city is trying to make room for more migrant families with children. Also this week, city officials announcing they will start handing out flyers across the country and at the southern border, discouraging migrants from coming to New York City, where they say it's too expensive and you are not guaranteed placement in a hotel room. New York City Mayor Eric Adams saying the city's shelter mandate should exclude migrants.
We know that there are people in our shelters who are telling their family members to come to New York.
So that means if they are saying like they mean we had enough, they sent the signal, we have enough, you can close down the border now, and we think we have enough that can last us for a year or so, 6 months. Because you know what's going to happen to a lot of people? There is a phase, because this is a curse that is upon those people, okay? There's a part of the curse that will mentally break you down. You know, the so-called 83 are very proud because they believe they invented and come up with everything. They believe they are very strong people. Once they are in a situation, they find out the quite opposite. And instead of humbling themselves, they seek drugs. And you're in New York, baby, yo, drugs everywhere. And this will add to the huge problem of OD. A lot of those people will get into drugs. They will try to minimize or alleviate the pain with drugs, especially the fentanyl they have over there. I mean, you just saw they had a Brooklyn or Bronx daycare where a little boy died, and they found like 50,000 little packets, 40 pounds of fentanyl. This thing is plenty in New York. And a lot of those folks will get involved with that. Once they figured out, well, they already figured out like this thing is not what they thought it would be. And then not only that, and once they start working, once they start getting used to the so-called America, and a lot of depression will happen, man. And you're like, yo, I work, I can't get hish, man. Because it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse.
City, and that they'll get housing and that they'll be able to stay with them. That has never been the case, but we want to make sure that we're being clear with people that New York City is our space.
And again, New York City, whose face they keep presenting, talking. You got a black reporter, now you got Eric Adams, then you got this woman. Make sure you show them black people are the one doing this. And then not only you show two things here. we are responsible bringing those people over here, and then you show the other people that, hey, you know, those people over there, you know, they come here to replace them. That's why they send them in New York and Chicago and those places, because they know if they can send them there, well, people like majority, they somewhat buff them out. And this is a huge mistake. This is a fatal mistake. And the results are start to showing now.
Now, all newly arriving adult migrants without children will now have 30 days to find alternative housing after they've been placed in a shelter. That changed from 60 days to 30 days happening within recent weeks here. Right now, the mayor says there are about 60,000 migrants being cared for in the city shelter system, also pointing out that on average, the city is still receiving about 10,000 migrants a month. Natasha.
All right, Dre Clark live for us in New York City. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find.
Yeah, so let's keep on moving, man.
A search is underway for 2 men who went missing after they went fishing in the Lancaster area. Manasseh Kacharian and his brother Gregor were last seen at 8 yesterday morning in Glendale. Manasseh has a heart condition and is missing his left eye, while Gregor recently had open heart surgery. Now divers morning in Glendale. Manasseh has a heart condition and is missing his left eye, while Gregor recently had open heart surgery. Now divers went searching for the men in the California aqueduct in Lancaster. Anyone who's seen these brothers is urged to call the sheriff's department.
Well, giving local.
A lot of people, they're just missing. They just don't see them. They went in fishing and they don't know what happened to them. This little girl missing, and this woman missing, that woman missing, those people missing, missing. They don't know what's going on and what happened to them. They just keep on missing.
Pump. They're using their cell phones, specifically the Bluetooth component, to gain control. Once they do gain control, they can pump as much gas as they want for free.
We should go back to like $1 right now.
Me too.
It's almost $4.
Paying at the pump is for chumps when you can get gas for free.
I mean, I get why people are doing it, but it's still not right. It's still not right.
And illegal. Didn't stop a Detroit man from stealing almost 800 gallons of gas right here at this Shell station at 8 Mile in Wyoming.
They just open the pump for them automatically.
And then cars just keep coming up and fill up?
Yeah, they just meet up with them and tell them come over here.
That's Mo on the phone. He owns this very busy gas station. When he says open the pump, the thief overrides the system, basically hacking in using a Bluetooth connection from his phone as a kind of remote. Then it's a free-for-all. How many gallons have they gotten from you guys?
From us, around 800 gallons.
Just shy of $3,000. When the clerks inside try to stop it, they can't.
And every time we put like pump 3 stop, it wasn't doing anything. We have to shut off the whole pumps. We got emergency stops.
This happens to be a Detroit police patrolled Project Greenlight gas station. With that comes surveillance video of a suspect who investigators are actively looking for. But it's not just one guy, and this maneuver is not new, just resurfacing. Like at this Speedway station downriver in Riverview this month. In this case, they used a bait and switch. One guy distracted the clerk with a Cash App problem inside, while the other hacked the pump. They got away with $54 in gas.
It's so mind-blowing how many scams there are and how far people are really getting away with them.
Gas station Mo says his clerks are on high alert. If they see a big backup at the pump or someone hanging around a little too long, they'll call cops to check it out.
We only could do so much.
It does appear that the folks down in Riverview separate than the ones that hit here on Detroit's west side. Now, sources telling me investigators, they're getting close to catching the guy who stole some 800 gallons of gas. Reporting live on Detroit's west side, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Unbelievable. You know, Jessica, though,
yeah, so a lot of people are getting hit out there, man. You know, guys are losing money, losing fuel, losing life.
Our top story at 10, a high school hit with 2 hoax calls within 3 days. East Central High School students were forced to evacuate the school after a fake bomb threat this morning. School leaders say it appears that call came from the same group
who made false claims about an active shooter on Monday. KENS 5 reporter Megan Dana joins us live from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office with how these fake threats are impacting students. Megan?
Well, while deputies were able to quickly figure out that fake bomb threat today was a hoax, students still had to leave the classroom for the second time this week because they believed initially that this was an emergency. And parents that I talked to tonight say that their kids are anxious.
It's just been very nerve-wracking and scary.
It's a scenario East Central High parents do not want to get used to.
We got it twice in 1 week.
A reported threat causing a massive law enforcement response.
Again, you can see the number 10 right here. And there's no peace, man. It's just everywhere. Everybody's on edge, man. No peace because there's a judgment going on there.
Our kids shouldn't have to be living like that.
On Monday, someone called in claiming there was an active shooter. That was a hoax. Wednesday morning, school leaders believe the same person may have called in a bomb threat. It was also a hoax. Deputies say the calls could be coming from out of the country, but retired FBI agent Abel Pena says it just may be the technology the callers are using to make it appear that way.
Where they can utilize what they call virtual private networks, VPNs, to make it seem like that they are operating or calling from a different country, when in fact they're probably calling from next door.
From Pena's experience, these hoaxes or swatting calls can be dangerous and traumatizing.
It takes a toll, especially when it's...
Remember, there was a guy that did a swatting. He falsely reported the police to a house that he was beefing with a gamer. There were two gamers. He was beefing with the other dude, so he called the police to his home, to the guy home. And when they get to the guy home, the guy was not there, but his grandfather was there, and he had a gun. And when he stepped outside, when he saw the police, and they raised the, like, you know, get down. Then the guy, he started shaking. He got really scared. He had a heart attack and he died. The guy died because it was a false call. So things like that, they are very dangerous. Unfortunately, beloved, it's, well, this is pre-recorded. This is 6 o'clock. I got to get ready because we got class in 2 more hours. We will continue this maybe tomorrow. And I'll say, great glory, beloved. You see it with your own eyes, and you know for a fact what's going on out there is no joke. It's not fake, because what they do, beloved, they make our people believe that everything is fake. When it comes to them, it's fake. But when those things were happening in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, they were real. Katrina was as real as the skin on your body, as real as the clothes that are on your skin. But when things like the flood happened in New York, they try their best to show you that those things are fake. When the plague came in 2020 and decimated those people, they're trying to show you like, oh, it wasn't real. It was just like the elite testing things. Okay? When the fires are happening all over the world, they're trying to tell you it's the DEW or some kind of elite are doing this. It's fake, it's fake, it's fake. When in fact, you're like, wait a minute, this thing is not fake at all. It is as real as it can get, and you people are catching hell. So, beloved, there'll be no Jacob's trouble. The mighty one is in the midst. He's judging the people that have done us wrong. Rejoice. The time, well, I'm not this guy gonna tell people the time to repent for them is over. I don't know. All I can say, I'm very happy the Most High God Almighty turned his face towards us, waking us, giving us our knowledge back, and a lot of things. And it's time for our people to go down, go secluded, go into your chamber, meditate, and connect with the Heavenly Father on a deep spiritual level. And this can only be achieved alone. Your pastors could not bring you there. I cannot, could not, and will not bring you there. It is something that you have to do on your own. Alone in this walk, our podcast, It's the journey of the alone and to the alone to meet the alone. It's not something you have to be, we're not talking about loneliness or you need to be lonely, but you have to go alone. No help, no safety net, you gotta jump. You gotta go to the edge of the abyss and look into that deep triple take darkness and jump. You don't know if you're gonna hit the ground. If you're not gonna hit the ground, you're just gonna have to go by yourself. Okay? That's what it is. The mighty one is dwelling in the thick darkness. Wanna meet him? Dive in there. Shalom. Be at peace. There'll be no Jacob's trouble. Keep your eyes open. Selah. So be it. And if you're still interested about your background check concerning your spiritual powers and who you are and what you have with you, go ahead in the video description. You'll see our email. Send us an email. We'll run the background check. It costs money. If you want to do it for cheap, we will give you. If you're going to do it for free, we'll give you the PDF. You'll go do your own research. But if you wish us to do the research for you, you will pay us so we can give you a 10, 11 pages of information concerning you. I say fast, pray, repent, repeat. Selah, so be it. Shalom.